Yo, yo. What up? What up? Yo. What up? What up? Hey. Hey, welcome. Welcome to Benny's crib. What up? Yeah, just leave your shoes over there. It's cool. Yeah, thanks. Does that sound cool? Yo, what up? Welcome to Benny's crib. Beautiful people, hello. We are here with some Rhyme Beat family at Benny's crib. Let's just get right to it. We got a New England creative force, Massachusetts hip hop artist, the head of New England Noise, Bkap. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm doing good.
Bkap, I guess just for introductory purposes, if you know, is pretty tight with the Rhyme Beat team over here. Pretty much any merch that we get done, hats, shirts, whatever, shorts, it's Bkap. Bkap pulling it out.
Yes, sir.
So, we had to get him out here just for that reason, because sometimes we just got to make sure everyone knows who's helping out, behind the scenes and in front of the cameras in this case. But also, Bkap's someone who's shown a lot of love to the main scene. Bkap's from Massachusetts, and I think he's a pretty cool bridge between the Mass and Maine, little communities that a lot of artists out here are, a part of. So
Thank you.
I'm excited to get into this interview and talk to Bkap today. And you know what we got to do? We got to start the interview with the first question we ask everybody.
Oh, shit.
What's your first memory of hip hop?
Oh, it's fine. I've been thinking about this a lot. So I have two that come to mind. One, my mom was our bus driver growing up. So she would always play Jammin' 94.5. So I have very early memories of hip hop on the bus going to school, specifically Biggie, Big Papa, and Hypnotize.
What year is this? Like when it's coming out?
Yeah, it has to be 90s. Like I was in like elementary school, probably like
96.
96. Yeah.
Cool.
So
But I like that. So your Ma Dukes is on the bus.
yeah, she was our bus driver for
Everybody
years.
on. That's amazing. Shout out to bus drivers. Was it a stressful profession though? I feel like I used to be very, very like rude to my bus driver. Like,
Yeah, well, for the most part, like, where me and my brother were on the bus, like, kids were cool, but, like, she definitely had a few, like, shitty kids, and, she had, like, beef with this one girl that she had to, like, get kicked off and stuff. But,
school bus beef.
yeah. A kid tried to throw a snowball at her one time, like, on the last day. It was, like, the last day before break. He jumped out the emergency door and hucked the snowball back in. It just missed her.
Damn, Kennedy. That's some wild shit. I remember kids would be just ruthless and relentless to not only like to the bus driver but to each other on the bus. And I'm not gonna get into the bus stories. We're like third minute in this podcast, but I do remember it's in one of the podcasts. My homies and I tried to tip the bus once and have it like crash into a gas station all in the ridge. We were like 16, so it's fine. But just kids on buses is chaos. You got to watch out for that, like, what do they call it? Mob mentality.
Right? Kids are the worst.
Yeah, straight up, man. Moving on, where were you born? Like, where'd you kind of like grow up a lot in Mass?
I'm born and raised in Tewksbury, Massachusetts. Well, I think I was born in like Melrose, Wakefield Hospital, but I
That's where
spent
the
my
big
whole life
hospital is.
in Tewksbury.
Where is that in the state for those who don't know? Like North Shore area?
Yeah, so we're like 20 minutes north of Boston, right next to like Lowell, Lawrence, like that area.
The Fighter.
Andover.
What's that? Is that the Mickey Ward movie? That
area.
area?
Yeah, Lowell represent. There's a famous like HBO documentary called High on Crack Street. That's all about crack in the 80s in Lowell.
Yep. Yeah, man. I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, shout out Lowell and Lynn's hip hop scenes right now, though, man. Fucking
Yeah,
on
definitely.
fire. I'm sure we'll get
Yeah,
into some of that.
Lawrence, Stu, man, Term,
Yeah.
and SC the Squad, my dude Snuck, DJ Deadeye, Easy Money, all them.
Wow. We could get into so many rants and tangents right now about hip hop artists. That's the thing about Bkap. Whenever I link with Bkap on some like journalistic shit, we just be talking about like, hip hop and artists from our little, areas and shit, our big areas. And on this on the Bkap story, man, we could spend literally 90 minutes doing that. But I wanna almost like talk about maybe when music first started getting into your life in a sense. Like what were your hobbies as a teen or a youth?
So I was big into like skateboarding, extreme sports type shit. But I started getting into music in like high school, like probably junior, senior year. My buddy Keith, shout out my buddy Keith Tashin. He had Pro Tools and a drum program called Reason, and
Oh yeah, I know Reason. Yeah.
he taught me how to make beats, and I just watched him, and I downloaded the program onto my computer, and like I would just take like my first couple beats were just taking his beats and like putting new sounds in them, but like it taught me like the structure of everything, and I just kind of ran with it, and then
Hell yeah.
I lost Reason. Like I only had it for like a short amount of time, and then like I needed a new computer or something, and I lost like the code to it. So then for
damn.
years I just used like GarageBand and this like drum machine app. But then eventually I got MPC Studio, and that's what I've been rocking in, for a long time.
Hell yeah. What year was this? Like when you first started cooking on Reason and I forget you say Pro Tools?
Yeah, so probably like 07 was when I
07.
graduated. So like, yeah, 07, 08.
Nice. So back in even the teenage years, like it's something that's a part of your life.
Yeah, very like casual, just fun. Like the big reason I started making beats was like me and my friends were rapping, and like I didn't want to rap over like commercial instrumentals. So
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I was like, yo, let's rap over Keith's beats, and then like, yo, let's rap over my beats. And
Did you have a rapping name at the time?
it's always been Bkap.
Bkap.
Bkap everything. Just
Yeah, because like
my first initial and first three letters of my last name.
it's very like reminiscent of my style too. It's like Benny P. It's just,
Yeah,
it's
gotta
easy.
keep it
It's,
real.
it's just you. Keep it very organic. The cat is going to be in this podcast. Any audio listeners, you are missing out on the cat being on the podcast. You can't. Well, you probably might have heard that she just jumped on a table, but you can't really hear because she don't be talking and shit.
She's getting in the mic.
Oh, now she might be spitting and shit. I think one thing that's prevalent in a lot of people's lives on this podcast is music is in their life, even like in their household, from like a family member or like just playing it themselves a lot, like pre getting into music. Was music around like in your home growing up at all?
Yeah, definitely. My parents are big into like classic rock and stuff. Even to this day, like we went away a couple years ago, and I brought my record player and a bunch of their records, and like we were just rocking out like Styx and Fleetwood Mac and America.
Yeah, 70s and 80s shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. What came? Well, I guess it sounds like hip hop and the music stuff came first, but what came first in terms of like really taking all of your passion? Was it graphic design or music? You think?
I just growing up my whole life, I would always draw, like just like even like listening in class, like I would always be doodling, like always drawing like graffiti type stuff, and it's just always been like a big passion of mine.
So that sounds like it's me even predating
Oh.
making beat stuff.
Yeah, oh for sure, yeah. That's like since like middle school, like just like my whole life, I was always like drawing.
Did you ever like do any bombing or like do any graffiti?
Nah, nothing crazy. I mean, allegedly a couple things here and there, but
Allegedly. So whenever I do the radio show, I got like a soundboard. I gotta get the soundboard for the podcast because I do the my questions through my phone. But if there was a soundboard, it would have been an allegedly right there. Yeah, I think your visual style is pretty distinct. When I see a logo, whether it's like the All That Be All One or some stuff, you might have seen like for Shane Rise or Spose or Rhyme Beat, like, yeah, there is like a certain like dialed in sense of style that is consistent throughout a lot of your your work.
thank you.
And that does make sense that it's been something you've been doing for what, like 2+ decades now, it sounds
Yeah.
like.
And definitely like I try to have that graffiti influence, like big, bold, clean, simple, like
Yeah.
very legible.
Very stylish and like
I was trying to like add some like depth. Like,
I mean,
to
even
it.
right now you made that shirt right there. So and
Oh,
this
yeah.
this hat right here too. It's like it's almost like very reminiscent, like you said. It's like graffiti style. It's like classic throwback almost, but it's like it's very clean and modern, if that makes sense too. That's
Thank you.
kind of how I
Yeah.
view it. I mean, when you're middle school drawing, you obviously haven't started New England Noise yet.
No, so I started New England. So New England Noise started as Noise Clothing, and it actually has roots to Maine. So growing up, I went to a campground up in Naples, Maine, on Long Lake called Colonial Mass Campground, And one day, me and my friend were like bored, looking for something to do, and we decided to make a clothing line, and that was Noise Clothing.
No shit. What? Like, how old are you this time?
Like 15, 2005.
So that's
was
even
when we officially like started Noise Clothing.
That's even before the beats, then.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
For some reason, my brain, I guess it's the what happens when you set expectation. But I was like, I feel like Bkap like probably got into beats first, and then maybe like graphic design, and then I was like, I don't know.
Like the thing with music, like I always loved music, but like I can't keep time. I can't tell key. Like I can't play an instrument. Like so, like until I got like somebody with a computer and shit like that. You know what I mean? I always liked to be around music. Like my friends had bands, and I would always like go hang out with the band and help set up and like do shit. But I didn't get into like doing music until like the technology like I caught up to that.
Yeah, it sounds like the illustration and just design has been more natural commodity to your life.
Definitely comes a lot more natural.
When did the Bkap name come about? Did you always kind of go by Bkap growing up, or like where'd that come from?
Yeah, for the most part, Bkap or Cap. So like with like my like friends from like the campground and stuff, I was Cap, but then like around town, my brother was Cap, so I was Bkap.
Oh.
So I kind of...
Was that because of your name starting with a B, or was it like A and B?
No, with the name starting with a B.
Because that's kind of disrespectful. It's like,
yeah.
It's funny that you bring up Maine, though, as a huge, launching pad and a sense for Noise Clothing, because you were at summer camp, or not summer camp, but whatever you said.
Yeah, it's
summer
just like a campground.
Campground,
yeah,
exactly.
We had like a seasonal spot, so like we'd go up every summer, like every weekend, and then like where my mom was the bus driver, she'd have the whole summer off, so we'd stay up for the whole month of July.
Damn.
And that was like...
So you and Maine...
those are like, key moments of like my youth.
Oh, that's like prime time to be up here, bro.
Yeah.
That's way better. No offense to probably being in Tewksbury for
Oh, for sure. And like I've made some of my best friends up there, like...
That's cool.
The whole, like... So I work out of a screen print shop, and the whole reason I know Joe, who owns the screen print shop, is through kids that I met at the campground. So like, it all kind of comes full circle.
Damn. Yeah, man. You never, you could probably never just guess where the connections you make at any part in your life are gonna bring you.
Yeah, for sure.
You said you met these cats with 05, bro.
Yeah, even younger than that, probably. That was like when we started doing the
So yeah, 20 damn years. I didn't know Noise was around that long. What was the progression of Noise Clothing then from maybe a youthful, collaboration with a friend to more like concrete, like tangible goods?
So when I started it, I was with my buddy Chris Joden. Shout outs to Joden. And my other buddy Brian Friedman. There were a couple other kids involved, but we started going to like local punk shows on the North Shore. So in like Peabody and Gloucester, and we would spray paint our logo onto shirts and then try to sell them for $5 at the shows. And like a bunch of the bands, like we like, they were like older Peabody kids, and like Joden's from Peabody. So like we met them, and like they just embraced us, and like, they're like, yo, give us like shirts and we'll wear them like while we perform. So they all wore them and like shouted us out on the mic and
That's
like told
sick.
people to buy them, and like we sold out of the 25 shirts that we spray painted, and
Like the
first
day?
Yeah, like one of the first shows.
That'll kind of kick it off,
And we
right?
just kind of kept re-upping, and then eventually we got them like screen printed, like the same thing. We would hustle, just fucking t-shirts.
Investing.
And then Hemp Fest was real big for us. So like,
Oh my god, yeah,
Hemp Fest
I know
out in
Hemp Fest.
Boston Common. Like I want to say like 2010 we did Hemp Fest, and like we killed it. Like we were like one of the only like clothing companies, so like we just did really good, and like
Just making like cheesy weed pot leaf t-shirts and shit.
like had one Noise Clothing reminds you to go green, and like different like some like pot leaf designs, and then some just like regular designs.
Yeah.
And then the following year, I made it looked like a hookah, and then it had a gas hose on it, and it said higher than the gas price, which was a Elzai line.
Oh wait.
Off Elmatic.
Yeah, the Illmatic.
It's like I hit the grass twice and get higher than the gas price.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what song that is, but I can't even front. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's definitely on Elmatic. I don't know
because Illmatic is sick. Let's get on some hip hop nerd shit. Illmatic, I believe, is all live instrumentation.
Yeah, this band, I believe they're out of Detroit, called Will Sessions, and they like
Okay.
replay all the Nas beats with live instruments. And
'Cause,
it's amazing.
Elsi's from Detroit.
Yep.
Elsi just dropped. Elsi is so dope because he's been an artist I've really, really loved, and he dropped an album called Lead Poison in like 2016, and I was like, oh fuck, like Elsi dropping, like he putting out a lot of music, and then just recently, like he did the Jericho Jackson album.
Yeah, I like that.
With Crisis.
Yeah.
He did the Georgia Ann Muldrow album.
You did one with Oh No,
And
I
then there
think.
was
Yeah.
Oh No,
I
dude.
gotta
Like
check that.
those are all like, dude, like Crisis from the away team and the Ninth Wonder Camp and Jamla and everything.
Yeah, Soul Council.
Yeah, Soul Council, exactly. And then, I mean, come on, like Georgia Ann Muldrow is one of the best ever for me. And then, oh no, like come on, man, oh no,
Yeah, right.
royalty. So, when I first heard Elmatic, I'm trying to get my mic right too. It's fucking with my shirt. When I first heard Elmatic, I was like, God damn, like I can't believe someone actually had the gall to try and remake Elmatic first.
And do it,
And
like,
do it really
yeah.
good, bro. Like I was damn near like shaking on some songs. Like I can't say it. but
He
this
really made it his own too. Like
it feels like a whole different album, and you can tell it's almost like I don't know how to explain it. Like an homage, almost more than like a direct copy. You know, like when you hear just some shit, and it's like this is a carbon copy type. It don't even fucking work. That's not how I felt about Elmatic. So anyway, shout out Elmatic. Shout out high gas prices. Shout out Hempfest. Shout
when
out.
I went to an Elzai show at the Middle East and gave him the higher than the gas price shirt, and like I got a picture of me like holding it up with him.
What was his reaction? Did he like it?
Yeah, he thought it was cool.
That's sick. Shout out Elzai, man.
Yeah.
Go play that new Oh No album. I think it's Heavy Vibrato is what it's called. Let me get back to the topic at hand though. Did you feel like, I don't know, after like, doing those type of Hempfest where it's very like, it's just a different kind of hustle, I feel like, when you selling shirts in the moment like that. It's not like you're waiting at a computer for orders. It's very like, you got to kind of be good with your people skills.
Yeah,
you got to like.
Yeah, we had like a lot of friends who helped out, and like we had a good crew like on the table and stuff, so.
What kind of, like, what was the momentum of Noise Clothing after that? Like, because did you kind of get more into the music shit, or when did that happen?
So in college, I started putting on shows with Mike Styles.
Okay.
Which shout out Mike Styles. Mike Styles is a main legend. He used to be on, what was it, Hot? It wasn't.
95.9?
Yeah, whatever Hot was before. It might even been a different station, but
Jam in 95.9.
it was the hip hop station up here in like the mid 2000s. But Mike Styles is a local rapper from when I was growing up from Andover, and he was like one of the first like local rappers to like kind of get big on like Napster and stuff for us. So he had he kind of did some parody. So he did over Jay-Z's So Ghetto, he did So Suburban, and then he did what was it? Andover Hospitality over Southern Hospitality, and those were like fucking just local classics. But he was in a group called the Massholes. They had a song called Mailbox Baseball that was real big local, and Come On Dude with Rex, early Rex, and yeah. But like Nabble Rock, who was in the Massholes, was also in Point Theater Ushers.
Yeah,
just like local rap, like royalty for me growing up, and so Styles kind of made like a comeback in 2010, and started putting on shows in Lowell, and like I met him and we hit it off and teamed up, and so every month for like a couple years, like we put on a show at the Smokehouse in Lowell.
Oh, nice! And then you would like help him with the merch and shit.
Yeah, I would sell merch and I would make all the flyers and then get a table, and so it was a good time for the local scene.
So what is that? Like you said, 2011-ish, 2010?
Yeah, probably 2012, 2013, that like era.
Yeah, because I feel like I started seeing you hella in Maine, or maybe around like 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
Was there like a gentle progression into like kind of working with more cats out here? Like how did you formulate?
Just being a fan, man. I was a fan of Spose.
That's a good place to start, yeah, because you've done a lot of work with Spose and shit. And
I think Styles put me on to Spose. I think he showed me like I'm awesome. But then when the Audacity came out, like it was so dope, and like so I started driving up for Spose shows. Like,
damn. What was the first one? You remember?
Yeah, a Gunkwit. The fuck was that place called? This little like tavern in a Gunkwit. I forget what it was called.
Yeah. I'm not too aware of a gunk when I'm a little bit too south for me.
Something Road Tavern, Post Road.
Post Road
Yeah,
Tavern.
Post Road Tavern, I think it was called. But it was like Spose and Cam, like maybe Akuso.
So that's probably right around We Smoked It All 1 and 2 era.
Yeah, probably. It was right before like Peter Spark. I remember Peter Sparker coming out.
I don't even remember what year that is. Is that 2014?
Maybe 2013.
2013, yeah.
I want to say 2012, 2013.
Because Audacity's 2011, I feel like.
But basically, so that kind of transitioned into me doing merch for Spose. I would go to the shows and I liked his merch, but he never had. I'm a double X. He never had double X. So I was like, fuck, like, I want a shirt. So working at a t-shirt shop, I decided to make my own Spose shirt, and I was gonna just kind of like bootleg one of his, but I was like, oh fuck it, I'll make my own design. So I made a design. In his Twitter profile at the time, it said using proper English in rap songs since 2002. So I took that quote with like the state of Maine and the Spose logo, and I made that shirt. And he liked it, and he's like, yo, let's print these. And
Oh, nice.
just kind of hit it off and started doing merch for him for a while.
Sounds like you're just very ambitious and you just be doing shit and people are like, oh, I fuck with this.
Yeah.
And then you
Yeah,
just
man.
continue to work.
I try to be genuine and do shit for the love, and it's been working out so far.
Yeah. I'm trying to think too what else. Like I remember there was a Spose shirt with like a bear with guns.
Yeah, so that I came up with that. Well, so Spose had made like a Photoshop of like that, and then I had my buddy Matt Emmons, Choate Matt Emmons. He's a really dope illustrator and comic artist, and I sent him the Spose like Photoshop image and had him draw the bear, and then I put the text in behind it.
Nice. How did you link with Shane? Was that just through a fan of the music?
Yeah, I just met him at a show. We were both outside smoking in between sets, and I'd seen him perform. I think it was when they did that like cypher at Port City that time.
It might have been before my time out here.
Yeah, they did like it's on YouTube, like the first like Pete Dank cypher, and they filmed it. So it was like that night, and after his set, I just like said what up to him. I was like, yo, you're really dope, and just kind of hit it off.
Nice.
Then I would just kind of see, like I would deliver merch, and like that was kind of always my in to like get into shows early and like hang out backstage.
Yeah.
So I'd deliver the merch, I'd just chop it up backstage, and built some good friendships out of it.
When you think of a lot of the stuff you've done with, artists from Maine, is there any like designs or like merch drops or just like, moments you're really proud of or that stick with you maybe?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every shit I've done with Spose, man, like just seeing random people rocking something I designed is just a really cool feeling.
Yeah, that is
so like
cool.
Even to this day, anytime I go to a Spose show, it's like my portfolio is just in the crowd. There's a lot of history there. So.
Yeah, because especially if you have a rapport with someone and you do merch, specifically for shows or projects, as the years go by, you get like a visual representation of all the shit that's happened. So it's pretty cool. I feel like I want to keep talking about beats maybe for a little bit now too. Get more into the production world.
Sure.
Did you have any early inspirations when it came to production or just getting involved with beat making?
Definitely Primo. I mean, I feel like any boom bap kid that's like,
especially
Primo, Alchemist, Ninth Wonder is kind of like the trio for me of just shit that I want like my shit to sound like.
Do you remember like the first Primo beat that blew your mind?
I don't know. So I remember downloading like in the days of torrents, like downloading just like fucking Primo instrumental pack. So like out of that, like Recognized by the Locks.
Oh yeah.
Is a big one.
I didn't even realize he did that one, but
yeah,
you can hear that that's such a Primo drop.
Oh, like there's one with Common. I think Resurrection maybe.
I think that's No ID.
Okay.
But I think
there's an album Resurrection, but I think there's a song. There's definitely a Common song that Primo produced.
The Sixth Sense maybe.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Gotcha.
Because Resurrection is I could be wrong, but
I think that's an album that No ID produced.
Exactly.
I think that's probably a song on
exactly. It's the title track it's a collab album between them. But one of the best, known I think Common joints from at least like the Like Water for Chocolate era,
Yo,
is probably
that's-
The Sixth Sense right
Yeah,
there.
that's one of my favorite albums.
The one that's like, and you know, yes, you know, when it has those
Well, and that's one of those albums like I kind of like Dilla. Before I knew who Dilla was, I loved Dilla and didn't know it. Like, you know what I mean? Like between like that album and fucking like Tribe, like Beats, Rhymes, and Life was like a big one for me.
I love it. And then the love movement after that too.
I didn't kind of realize that Beats, Rhymes, and Life and like the later albums were like not as like respected as the
cats hate on those sometimes.
But, like,
I don't
that
get
was
it.
my I had heard Kanye mention A Tribe Called Quest. Like the fans want a feeling of A Tribe Called Quest, but all they got left is this guy called West.
Yeah,
like that, and obviously Consequence. That was the other thing. Like I love Consequence from Spaceship. His like verse on College Dropout Spaceship.
Because he's what Q-Tip's cousin.
Yeah. So and he's on Beats, Rhymes, and Life was like when he came into it. So like when I was getting into Tribe, like that was the starting point for me.
That's a hell of an album, man. Beats, Rhymes, and Life has like the jam on it. That's a great joint.
Jam's like one of my favorite Tribe songs.
Yeah.
Like I love that beat and like just the visuals of like that it creates like in your mind of going to house parties and like just you know what I mean?
It's a very like tangible feeling you get. I mean, I think that way about a lot of the Tribe's music. Like Tribe is so, I don't know. I just feel with so much life. It's like a life force. You put it on and you really feel like, at least for me, whatever mood the song is conveying, I'm like there physically. I don't know how to explain it, but Tribe is timeless. But it's so cool, that phenomenon when you get into hip hop and you just listen to, the classics and the albums everyone tells you about for the first time, and you fall in love with like little beats or parts of the song. And I love when you go back over time, like you said, and you're like, I don't even know I love Dilla, for instance. And you look back like, oh, they made this beat, they made this beat, they made this beat. It's like, that's one of the most powerful things I think about getting lost in, at least for me, like this hip hop shit early on was getting so like drawn into things and then seeing like how it all kind of connects. And you're like, oh my God, like some people like, it feels like they're almost making like music directly like for you. And I think hip hop is such a genre where I felt that specifically, so it's cool. You definitely had your inspirations then, I think, when it comes to producing. And do you have a routine or like a process when it comes to beat making?
No.
When's the last time you started cooking up?
Literally like all this week I've been
nice.
Yeah, this week I was on vacation. I rented like a cabin up in Brownfield, Maine, and just been chilling. So I was trying to cook. I really didn't have much luck. But you know how
you tried though, right?
Yeah, and like I was just vibing, listening to records. Christina came through one of the days and we just kicked it. But
nice. Shout out Christina Contigian.
Yeah, Christina. She's
headlining
one of the best people I know.
Next Rhyme Beat show too. R&B Beats at BPM, Blue Portland, Maine. Christina Contigian headline set.
Yeah, that's a wild lineup.
March 2nd. Goddamn her, Chan, Mike B,
Chan, and Bizza.
Yeah. Woo. I'm pumped. Thanks, man. Hope to see y'all there. Much love. Shout out Christina again. Christina was like half the reason why I made sure to do this podcast, because last time I talked to her on here, we were like, oh yeah, we got to get Bkap on here. And now what we're doing, doesn't matter how long it takes as long as you put the shot up. Yeah. That's probably a good time, I think, to talk about Christina. How did the song "Special Gift"? It's actually a Christmas song, I believe.
Oh yeah.
How'd that come together?
Sorry. Yeah, so Christina's just a friend. I met her, through the whole P-Dank crew. And I just send her beats and she sends me back songs. I don't know. Like we just vibe well together.
It sounds like in this case you probably sent her a pack or a beat, and then she made that probably creative. Just it's not like I'm saying you were like, hey, make a Christmas joint out of this song.
No, I do believe when I sent her that beat, I was like, yo, this would be a dope for a Christmas song.
Isn't there like a little like bell in it at some point?
Yeah. It was and like there's like a fireplace crackling. Like that beat was made as a Christmas beat.
I love that song. I play that a lot this Christmas, man.
Yeah, it was a quick process with that one. I think like I don't know if I had the idea or I just was like, hey, this beat sounds Christmassy. We should do like a Christmas song or whatever. Yeah. I sent it to her, and like within a day or two, like she had written it and recorded it, and I sent it to John Glass to mix, and we just dropped it like right away.
Shout out John Glass.
Yeah, shout out John Glass.
I think he just did some work on this cat drops like so many albums, hard to keep up, but Boreal Rock just dropped that an album recently, I think called Social Economics. And I think there's a joint called Mass Music Awards that John Glass worked on. I've been playing that a good amount. So shout out John Glass.
Yeah, I know
too.
he's probably all over the new Rex album. I know he works with him a lot.
Shout out Rex too. Is it Rhythm Eternal Kingdom Supreme? Is that what it is?
I believe so.
Yeah. Shout out Rex, man. Shout out Massachusetts hip hop. Let's talk more about some main shit though. Shout out the song Special Gift. If you're reminiscent of the holiday season. I don't want to judge, but I kind of do.
Yeah, I got a couple joints with Christina.
That was
we got Insatiable, which is on Spotify, and there's a really dope music video.
That's one of her more recent singles too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of like a moody, dark, like driving
It's
song.
like real like sexy. Like,
Yeah.
The video is very sexy.
Not like dark as in like sad dark. Like it's kind of like late night, like sexy time, demon hours dark.
For sure.
Cheek clapping soundtrack, allegedly. What else? What else you got?
We have another track. It's not on like Spotify or anything, but I don't know if you remember. Shane Rise did an album for his cousin. Like was in like a car crash.
Yeah, album for Sophie.
Yeah. So we did a bunch of joints on that. Like I contributed. So I have like
I have that album.
Yeah, joint with Dap called Rosary Beads. That's from our album that never came out. That will eventually come out. I'm working on finishing it. But basically, Dap ended up falling in love and having kids and moving to Florida. So I kind of
where did he live?
Pause on the.
Did he live out here?
Yeah, he's originally from like I think like Malden or something, but like he grew up in Tewksbury and. He's like a childhood friend. I played hockey with him.
I had no clue you and Dap because separated at birth, the Shane Rise and Dap album, right? Yeah.
So like Dap knows Shane through me. Like
you the plug.
Yeah. So I would bring Dap to Spose shows and they met backstage and hit it off over talking about like boxing and stuff.
No shit.
And then Dap ended up moving up here for a while, so like they kicked it a lot.
That's why I like having motherfuckers in the podcast. I had no clue about that. Damn, small world. Well, yeah, shout out Insatiable and Special Gift and the one on the Sophie album.
That Run 'Em Out is the Christina joint on the Sophie album.
Yeah.
Me and Dap got Rosary Beads. I think Last 24 is on there.
Nice. Yeah, I forgot about how much work you guys have had together. I also really like the shit you do with Shane, especially the song Vices.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And Angelica Ferre's on that song, too.
And actually, my homie Chris Joden, who I started Noise Clothing with, plays the drums. So I like made that beat at his house, and he grew up as a drummer. So like I brought the MPC over and got him to kind of tap out some drums, and that turned into Vices.
Yeah, because
so
you say
special.
You use the MPC mostly, right? When you making beats.
Yeah. I'm on the MPC Studio, and then I have like the little slimline controller.
Nice.
But I'm mostly a click and point producer. Like,
got you.
I'll chop samples and tap shit out to kind of get the feel of it, but most of the time I'm clicking and putting a lot of delay on shit, and I've been using Koala a lot too.
Yo, shout out Goddamn Chan. He just made me download that.
Dude.
What's your vibe with Koala? Like, do you kind of go on it daily? Do you just for fun?
Just kind of just whenever I get like the urge to cook up and I don't want to like bust out the whole setup, like it's just can loop something up, and it's crazy.
Have you been like consistently recently trying to like put anything together for beats, or is it just kind of organic cooking up?
So me and you had talked, and I've been slowly kind of putting together a playlist of beats. So I gotta kind of send you. I want Benny to curate a little beat tape for me.
Yeah,
that's my bet. I probably fucking hundreds of like 500 beats like in my computer that are all like some are good, some are shitty, but like most of them are pretty decent. So it's like I should put out a beat tape, but
definitely.
Just like I don't know. I have a hard time like finishing art. I just kind of. I'm always in the creative. I love the creative process. Like
the completion process is what I find tough, man. It's art is so much fun just to create, but when you try and I don't want to say force, but when you have to have finality to it, you're like, fuck, it's not as fun.
I'm a bit of an overthinker too, so it's like a couple years ago, I have a beat tape ready to go called the Isolation Tape. I put it together like over COVID, and like I went to mix it, and like I just everything kind of like all over the place. So it's like I I just wasn't happy with like the final mixes, and I kind of overthought it and never put it out.
Yeah.
But that's another one. Like I've been talking with John Glass, and we're gonna finish the Me and Dap album and hopefully mix that beat tape too.
That'd be sick, man. Yeah, get it
Hopefully
cracking.
this year will be the year of actually dropping some shit. Yeah, me and Christina were talking yesterday. We have a ton of demos, so we might try to like at least drop a single or something in the next couple months.
Why not, man?
So, we'll see.
Get the music out there. People want to hear it.
Yeah.
People want to see you. People love when motherfuckers release music. And we'll get that Ryan B curated Bkap beat tape
Yeah, I think
eventually
that would be
too.
really cool.
That's in the vault.
I think you have a really good ear, and
Thank you.
it would just be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I love curating. I love listening to beats, man. I mean, I put out my own beat tape last year of like just through curating shit. So, oh fuck, it's already 2024. 2 years ago.
Yeah, time flies, man. I like all the projects you've put out have been really dope.
Thanks, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to. It's hard to like you said, like the completion part. It's I think something I don't really necessarily struggle with, but sometimes it keeps me apprehensive to like do really ambitious projects, or at least like rush them, because I don't like putting shit out half-assed and looking back at it and being like, what was I doing, man? Like,
Yeah,
sometimes like in the pandemic, I was
stand on it.
doing podcasts every week, and then I look back and just the negativity bias probably, but sometimes I'm like, oh damn, I feel like I was rushing. But you know, that's just what every artist does. We always are our harshest critics.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
moral of the story, motherfuckers love when people release art. So please keep dropping shit. Do you prefer producing or graphic design, like one over the other?
Well, so I turned graphic design into like my day job, so that like kind of lost a little luster here.
The
and
magic.
There. It's I don't like do it for fun as much as I used to, but yeah. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Well, do you prefer that more or producing?
Yeah, that just comes more natural, but like I just love making music. I love being around people who make music, like just the vibe. I love being in the studio. Like I used to just go to John Glass's studio and just hang out to catch the vibe to work on art stuff. Like that was kind of how I did a sticker pack for Smith and Wesson.
Damn.
And that came through. I was just hanging out at the studio working on shit with John.
Was it Union Sound?
No. So this is John Glass's studio in Beverly.
Got you. Oh, it's like recent.
Yeah, nah, this was like probably 2019.
Shit, I didn't even know he had a studio out there, because that's where 7L's record store is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So this was pre. So 7L's record store out there is like a little newer, and Glass moved to like Methuen the last couple years.
Got you.
But when or it might have even been his other studio in Danvers. He had a bunch of different spots.
Did he run Union Sound, or am I tripping?
No, Loman. Loman's Union Sound.
Loman did Union Sound.
Yeah.
Shout out Loman too.
Yeah, shout
bro.
out Loman. I haven't talked to Loman in a long time, but I fucking love Loman. He's a great dude.
I forgot I'm getting all confused in my Bkap knowledge, but you hung out with both those individuals.
Yes.
Glass and Loman at like the same time period. I'm imagining, but just different places. So shout out John Glass. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, so I was saying, just from chilling at John Glass's studio, this dude James, who was I don't know what his position was, but he worked for Duck Down Records. So like he would always come through. He was showing us like unreleased Sean P shit like before it came out, and like just shout out James. James is a great dude. But he's seen I did a sticker pack for Glass for he put out like this thing called the Griselda tape. And like just kind of made a bunch of beats that like he thought Griselda like would sound good on, and like we made like this like cool box and like a sticker pack and all this shit, and like he gave it to Wes at a show. Nothing ever came of it, but it was a very cool project. James saw that sticker pack and was like, "Yo, could you do that for Smith and Wesson?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, like let's go!" And that ended up like we ended up doing a sticker pack, and it came with the album The All. Mm-hmm. That Ninth Wonder like executive produced.
That's dope, man. Shout out Smith and Wesson. What is that? Tech and Steel.
Yeah, fucking legend.
The Shining.
That's another one. Like back in the Napster days, like we had downloaded this song, and it was them rapping over the Super Mario beat. And it was like from like a DJ Clue tape, and it was like when they had switched their name because they got sued, so they switched their name to like the Cocoa Brothers. So it's like I
Oh
never
my
knew that was
God,
Smith
yeah.
and Wesson, and then I like later found that out. And like
I didn't even know they got sued
Yeah.
by like probably the gun company, right?
yeah, so in like there's like a big period in like the late '90s, early 2000s where like they're the Cocoa Brothers.
But I thought they went by Smith.
Yeah, they spell it different, but they still got sued in the '90s.
Some whack shit.
But those are Duck Down's like a big like college radio like
Yeah, shout out Duck Down.
know, like,
Shout out
the early 2000 like Sean P. Monkey Bars.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking
BCC boot camp.
yeah,
play, man.
Ninth Wonder and
Buckshot.
Chemistry.
Yeah.
And then there's a Smith and Wesson. There's like a 3-pack like from like that time, and all 3 of those albums are
Yeah.
really dope.
That's some good ass music, man.
Yeah, 88.9 at night. That was like a big. Are you familiar with that?
No.
So in Mass, Emerson College has a radio station, 88.9, and they used to do. It's like listener funded, so they used to do hip hop, like a hip hop show, and like that's like.
Oh shit.
Where I learned a lot about underground and local rap
Through
and
Emerson's
stuff.
college
Yeah.
radio. No shit. I mean, that's a huge communication school, so I can see it.
But like that's how I know who like Big Shug and fucking Ed OG.
Yeah,
and, like, all, like,
Gangstar
yeah, all those
Foundation.
legends.
Oh, there's someone else too. I just learned about recently. He was like around Big Sugar and Ed OG. It's okay, don't matter. There's so much hip hop though in history in Massachusetts. It's just
Yeah, we have a really dope scene.
yeah,
Like,
you're a good person to ask. I mean, like maybe just to someone who is maybe like novice that don't know much about it. Is there just any artists or like little good jumping off places that you want to recommend for the mass scene?
I mean, as far as like legends go, fucking Terminology is a great one. Like he just dropped his second really dope album with Paul Wall, which is crazy. Like he's got Paul Wall rapping over fucking Large Professor beats. Like that shit's wild.
Shit,
like,
yeah.
but yeah, Term's a legend. He's kind of like Term's really dope because like I've been listening to Term since I was in like 7th grade. Like he's one of the first like local rappers. Like there was a record label called Centerfield Records, and I later found out that it was just like all these kids running it, but it was legendary acts from the Massholes. I think like his uncle was like a landscaper or something, and like gave them money to like run this record label. So it was like him, Nabo Rock, and Mike Styles were the Massholes, and then Terminology and Ed Rock, who now goes by Easy Money, had a group called Street.
That's ST the Squad, right?
Yeah. So like they're like, as long as I've known about local rap, like they've been around.
That's a lot of shit. I mean, you were even putting me back on to like Tragic Allies.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like,
Knack and
years ago.
Purpose.
And then I think is there another artist in that who passed? Unfortunately, I could be tripping, but
Possibly.
I don't want to spread any misinformation.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but just long story short, when it comes to Massachusetts shit, if you ever need like recommendations, hit up Bkap if you want some jumping off points, because Bkap, I don't know, like I said, Bkap shows a lot of love to his area, and doing the same in Maine, and then seeing him come up here, it's just inspiration in little moments when you just have people who are passionate about shit you don't see a lot of people passionate about. So yeah, shout out that, man. Shout out repping for your home team in a sense. We've been talking for 42 minutes, BK.
wow.
It's been a good time.
Yeah, it's flying by, man.
Let me see. I think we're pretty much down to the rapid fire. Unless I could think of anything else I might have skipped over. The cat's hanging next to you, chilling. I think we finna do the rapid fire. You ready?
Sure.
Favorite hip hop duo?
Shit. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm not good at rapid fire.
Yeah, that's okay. You can take your
But,
time, too. We want to go super fast.
Would you count Tribe as a duo? Like that's like where do you get?
Nope.
I guess Outkast probably.
Yeah.
Would be my favorite duo.
Definite duo. Like Mobb Deep type
Yeah,
shit. Like
yeah,
definite duos. That's a good one. I never even answered that one myself, but like, I feel like in the winter I always say Bob Deep is my favorite.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Mobb Deep's definitely winter.
yeah, you got to get
winter
through
weather.
the day you put on Hell on Earth and you're like, okay, I feel better. Yeah.
But also, like I love Little Brother.
Little Brothers, I got to watch that documentary still. I ain't seen it.
Gangstar, I guess, would be considered a duo. Like, is DJ Producer a duo?
Yeah,
or-
yeah.
okay.
Just two person like acts. Like
But yeah, definitely Gangstar.
Gangstar
man.
is so good too. Outkast is like such a like quick one that comes to mind, but I find again it could be like just the New England bias, but I love Guru. I love
Yeah.
a lot of the Gangstar albums have so many good songs. Like I feel like when I'm on a hip hop type theme podcast. I'm talking about the shit. It's like secondhand nature, but like if you haven't, or secondhand knowledge, excuse me, if you haven't listened to like the 4 album run of Gangstar in the '90s, I think it is. I think it's 4 albums. They dropped, maybe 5. Like
Yeah, they got
some of the best ever,
lot, man.
Some
Even
of the
like
best.
one of their later albums was like one of my favorites.
The Owners?
Yeah, because like it came out when I was like actually like at
There's
a
some
point
shit
where
on
like
that.
I could appreciate it coming out. But
Dude.
their greatest hits album was really big for me. Like I remember listening to that like on the
Full
bus
clip.
in my fucking CD player.
Oh man, Big L, rest in peace.
That's how I knew who I had to go see who Big L was after that. Like
Have you heard the Work remix with Big L?
I'm sure I have.
Yeah, it's I only found it on I think YouTube once, but
Okay.
I was like, oh dude, it's dope to
Look
hear
that up.
like Big L and Guru together. I think a lot about the joints on the Owners too, like as a good like post millennium, almost like Rockefeller era New York hip hop, but it's like that's still like Right Where You Stand is one of the best Gangstars. Yeah,
The Gun song with fucking Fat Joe and MOP.
MOP's on that. Guns Go Blunt. That song is like there's it reminds me. Oh man, what's the other joint? It's just so like unnecessarily hard. Heat by 50 Cent. There's like gun clocks, and like clicks in the back. Like he's loading up every time. Like he spits 2 bars. It's hilarious. Shit. Rapid fire. This one you're already gonna pretty much answer based on your previous statements.
Yeah, right.
RZA or Primo?
Oh, so I want to say Primo, but like I'm a big Wu-Tang guy. Right?
Really?
So, shows my older brother and his friends, like they got me into like Wu-Tang and like Wu-Tang, like a Philly, like fucking Shaheem the Rugged Child, and Sons of Man, Killer Priest.
What's
fucking,
that really wild? It's Behold a Horse or something. What's that group, man? I should know, but there's another really good, like there's so many affiliates of the Wu-Tang.
Yeah,
Clan,
there's a ton of dope Wu-Tang affiliates.
So you thinking RZA?
Yeah.
That's tough. I
don't know. I can't. I don't think I can.
I can't pick that one
That
personally.
could go either day of the week, you know.
Yeah. What's your?
That was a good moment in the quarantine when they did the verses. RZA and Primo.
That's probably why I asked that. I forgot all about that. That's when I remember I was like, oh yeah, like there's just individuals who like are entire eras of sound, and like that's 2 high up candidates. What's your favorite Massachusetts cuisine?
Oh, a North Shore beef 3-way.
A 3-way?
Yeah.
Well, let me see if I know what I'm talking about here, because I went to school in the North Shore. Is that the roast beef, melted American cheese, and like that tangy barbecue sauce?
Yeah, so it's
onion roll too, maybe?
Yeah. So it's a very thinly sliced roast beef served warm. Sometimes on an onion roll, sometimes on a seed roll, depending on if you get a junior or a large or a super. Usually the super comes on the onion roll.
Okay.
But then it's American cheese, mayo, and James River barbecue sauce.
Mayo too. James River barbecue.
James River barbecue. It has to be James River.
That's
like a big thing on the North Shore of Massachusetts.
Yeah, I've like don't fuck any advisory like already like the whole masculine energy is like a thing I guess to like the outside world, but definitely don't.
We print for a Facebook group called North Shore Beefs, and like it is fucking like cutthroat. Like it's
Well,
I've seen. I have a friend. He got bullied out of the beef page for making like dumb comments.
Oh shit, it's that serious. They don't play.
We print a ton of beef merch, and there's a big it's a big thing out there.
Sandwiches, man. And not only like y'all don't play about the roast beef sandwiches, y'all don't play about the Massachusetts Italians either.
Yeah,
there's some beef about that with the whole Maine Italian, the Mass Italian. I don't even want to get into it, but it's a whole thing. Shout out local cuisine. What's your favorite season?
I like fall. I'm a big fall guy. I love fall camping.
It's good for fits. I like the outfits you can wear in the fall.
Yeah, I run hot, so I love being able to rock nice hoodie, a good flannel.
I grew up like double XL kid myself, or they called it husky back then, which made me feel good, by the way. I'm like a fucking husky on my pants, Oshkosh jeans that say husky, destroys a 14-year-old's self-esteem.
Bugle boy.
Yeah, bugle boy, straight up. I was like 10, my mom pulled it out, and I'm like, what's husky mean? And she was like, it means like rugged. It means like, tough. It's like, oh shit, man, I don't think that's what it means, but I love you. Thanks for saying that, Ma. What's your favorite spice to cook with?
Oh, good garlic powder, I'd probably say
That's-
is a go-to.
That's probably my you can
like
do a
salt,
lot.
pepper, garlic powder, kind of like the big three.
You can do a lot. Red pepper flakes you can do a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
with.
I love like Italian seasoning. I use
Underrated.
That's kind of my go-to for home fries: salt, pepper, garlic powder, a little Italian seasoning. maybe a
Mrs.
little
Dash is
paprika.
where it's at. You can do a lot with Mrs. Dash too. Shout out Mrs. Dash. Who's an artist you'd love to collaborate with?
Oh shit. I don't know. I want to definitely just keep collaborating with the people that I already collaborate with.
That's a good
I guess.
answer.
Like I want, like me and Shane have a bunch of half-recorded records. I would love for some of those to
Put
see
them
the light of day.
out.
Yo, I got. This was kind of like a main, like moment for me. I got to go to Dave Gutter's studio and work on a Shane Rise song that I produced the beat for, and then Dave like kind of remixed and added, fucking took it in a whole nother direction and made it this unbelievable record. But
Nice.
We'll see if it sees the light of day.
That's
But
exciting, man.
yeah, that was like a very cool thing, getting to hang out with Dave Gutter. Like,
Yeah, shout out Dave Gutter.
yeah, legend, man. That's like at my campground, I had a friend who was from York, Maine, and he put me on to Paranoid Social Club and the Rustic Overtones.
Damn.
And that's kind of another big reason, because before coming up for Spose, I would come up for Paranoid Social Club shows.
For real?
Yeah, like
Oh,
I remember CYY did like a thing where they played like it like some monument in downtown Portland. Like
Damn,
coming
yeah.
up for that.
They had that album that had like Wasted and Two Girls on it. That was huge.
Yeah, even I looped their song Gangster and made a beat out of it. That was like one of my like early beats that me and my buddy Keith made.
I can't yo,
Actually,
Paranoid.
I've made a bunch of rustic sampled.
That's interesting.
beats.
Yeah, I love to hear that shit, bro. Get Dave Gutter rapping on that. Who's an MC you've been playing recently?
I've been listening to a lot of Little Brother lately. So Shout Fonte,
Yeah, shout out Little
or,
Brother.
Father and Drake style.
And shout out Big
Shout
Pooh.
Shane Raz.
Rapper Big Pooh.
Yeah, I have a group chat with Shane Raz and Dap, and we always argue about Drake.
Oh, that whole fucking Yasin Bey Drake shit's probably blowing
Oh,
up.
that's hilarious.
Oh, yeah, I stay out of that shit.
No, I'm not. Drake isn't for me, but I definitely respect his craft and like,
Yeah.
you know, he can rap. But like, I love just making jokes and shit with.
He's
People love him so
a
much.
fun punching bag, to be honest. And I still like, there's some Drake's tracks I do fuck with too. Like,
Yeah. I love that he's rapping over fucking Conductor Williams beats.
Yeah,
like, that shit's crazy.
Overcast beats too, and there was somebody else he was working. I was like, what the fuck? It's just good when people like that, you know, like quote unquote, like high up and like the mainstream side can still make sure like their ears at least kind of a little bit tapped into.
Yeah, and it's nice to see underground producers
get the
paid,
placement.
man,
Yeah, get them placements. That's like probably the best part of it.
It's like I've even seen him making like, yo, here's how I made this beat and shit. So it's like you can make content off like doing that. Like,
Yeah, that's actually a good point. You can like really get a whole different revenue stream just from one placement.
yeah, he's really dope. I discovered him just like on Instagram.
Conductor.
Yeah, like he was just on like lo-fi like beat pages with like repost his shit, and I was like, this dude's really dope. I started following him, and then like
That's sick.
he started working with Griselda, and like
Yeah, I found
he's fucking
Conductor.
working with Drake, man. It's
like,
cool seeing people, you know, come up from nothing to working with big artists.
He's like been around for a minute too, because I feel like he started working with them somewhat recently, and his name's been around. Like there's this dope cat from I want to say Wichita, maybe, if not just somewhere in the Midwest, named Stick Figga, and it's Stikfiga. They've did a couple tapes with Conductor Williams, pre any of the stuff that was on the Gun albums. And even like I feel like Conductor, I believe, was on Pray for Haiti before he was on any Gun stuff too.
Yeah,
I
yo, show
think.
Westside Gun, man. He puts on for the underground, man. Like
His ear's very tapped
just
in.
like him grabbing Knack up. Like Knack's a fucking
Yeah.
Massachusetts legend.
Banana
like,
Yacht.
It's just so cool. Like he just lets him do his thing, man, and just puts the money behind it. Like,
Gun
it's so
pulled up
dope.
to downtown Lynn.
Yeah, yo, that shit's
That's
wild,
legendary for like. I mean, I can't. You could probably speak on. I mean, that's big for Lynn, Massachusetts.
Yeah, oh,
I'd
that's
say,
huge,
bro.
man.
Like what? Like Gun's one of the biggest hip hop artists in like I'd say globally. Like when you look at the sectors of you know, past, present, future, people who are listening to hip hop, respect hip hop, people who are also like influential in hip hop. Gunn has to be one of the biggest names in that category because he connects a lot of different places that don't necessarily get connected. Like, when can Travis Scott fans, like old school New York fans, and just like wrestling fans link in the same place?
Yeah,
in a
right.
sense?
He's got
It's
a
like,
little something for everybody.
yeah, that's yes. And again, I like when people who, it seems as if like, you know, they're putting in a lot of work and like attention, like their body speaks with it too. Like, he pulls up,
Yeah,
his feet
even
like are on the
before
stages.
working with Knack, there's this producer Michelangelo that I know.
Yeah,
that
just
he has a whole album with a whole Hall and Nash album that they recorded. Like,
yeah.
I think they released some of it recently, like on vinyl.
Like, I think a split
But
single.
like, he had a whole thing, and it's just like, I think at a certain point, like, it's just been too long that he can't release it or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
that's fair. And you don't want to, like, you know, piss those guys off.
no.
You want to keep the
Yeah, you
connections.
But,
And
shouts Michelangelo too, man. He does a lot of work with Crime Apple.
in the wilderness of North America with him and Shay Hanif from Feed the Family is an album I play a lot. And I think he just dropped an album with Primo Profit maybe too.
Yeah, probably.
And there was a joint called 250 on it, and I remember one of the hardest Michelangelo joints. I was like, fuck. The producer's down in Massachusetts right now, man.
Yeah, man.
So
I miss, you were mentioning Union Sound. That was a spot out in Somerville, probably like 2019 that Loman opened, and they would put on shows, and
Shout out
it was
Loman.
dope, man. A lot of dope beat people in that scene. Fucking Rozen, Lightfoot. I do Chairman Chow. Fucking.
Well, just tonight there was the Beat
Mad
Pong
people.
Index at
Oh,
Vinyl
was it?
Index, yeah. So shout out Chairman Chow, shout out Kadeem as well.
Yeah.
Kadeem and Loman, Piece of Homes out now. Go bump that. I gotta really hit the bathroom, man. We've been talking for like an hour, so we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Last rapid fire question: if you could time travel to any time period, where would it be?
Oh shit. So that's a tough one for me. I'm a diabetic, so
That's a pretty-
whenever I hear like something like that, I always think like, well, could I have my insulin pump back then? 'Cause,
That's-
like,
that's
technology's
important, bro.
Very important for me.
Dude, I love that answer.
But,
Holy shit!
But that aside, like definitely like some 70s, like
Modern medicine has to be at play.
Yeah.
Wherever you're going, bro. We don't want Bkap getting the fucking sugar, what is it, glucose and shit like
I
that.
don't want to be going to diabetic shock or
If
nothing.
Bkap time travels and he's at some fucking 1920s party and he goes into diabetic shock, that's bad for everybody, especially Bkap. We can't be having that. So, whenever, I guess 70s, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the peak of like music and shit. Like,
Whenever they had insulin figured out. Shout out that. Well, you survived the rapid fire. Shout out that Bkap. Is there anything you want to tease that's upcoming, whether it's New England noise or like music related?
nah, hopefully I drop some music this year. Hopefully I drop some designs. Like, I make tons of designs and don't release them.
You know, keeping the
Yeah, I just like
Skills
I
good.
make shit and like the skull design. Like I haven't really put that out. I got this patch, so hopefully I'll
I fuck with them.
get my shit together and release some products.
Hey, well, the future's ours. Where can people reach you if they need you for any inquiries?
NewEnglandNoise.com. It's noise with a Z. I'm also New England Noise on Instagram.
Hell
Those
yeah.
are kind of the two main.
Your website's nice too. I was checking it out for
Oh,
research.
thank you. I haven't updated in a long time. That's on my list of things to do.
It looks good.
Thank you.
Oh, we're here at the last question. I'm sure you know it. I shouldn't assume, but
I think I do actually.
Bkap, where will you be 1 year from now?
I would hope kind of doing the same thing, just kind of at the next level. That's a big thing for me right now is with my job. I have a single head embroidery machine and I need more heads of embroidery. So hopefully in 1 year I will have more heads of embroidery. And
More head next year.
be leveling up and doing more products and, you know, bigger numbers, all that shit.
Hey, I like it. Keep it going, but maybe just a little bit better day by day, huh?
Yeah, that's all I'm trying to do.
Shout out Bkap. Shout out all the support you give and have given for Ryan B. Man. Love for that. Heavy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your support as well.
Yeah.
I really enjoy working with you, and I love the Rhyme Beat brand. So
Thank you.
happy to be associated with it.
Yeah, it means a lot, man, for real. And shout out everyone who supports both of us, here in the 207. Shout out Yardy Ting for sponsoring this podcast. Shout out Willow Pix for the beautiful videography. Shout out Soto for the instrumental to this podcast. Shout out you at home for listening. Stay tapped in, rhymebeat.com. Finesse the system. Fuck white supremacy. Peace.